Hello, good afternoon. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to everyone here and also everyone watching from home. Welcome to another edition of Malay Heritage Centre's public lecture series. And today we have a lecture on the Banjarese diamond traders of Kalimantan with Mr. Tay Thye Sun, right? Mr. Tay Thye Sun. Mr. Tay Thye Sun is with the Far East Gem Lab, and he has been an appraiser of gemstones and consultants of gemstones for 40 years already. Right. Okay. This lecture is part of our special exhibition, Orang Banjar, Heritage and Culture of the Banjars in Singapore, as well as Malay Culture Fest 2020. This exhibition is the 5th installment of MHC's community co-curated Senusantara series, which started in 2014. With MHC previously working with the Baoyanese community, the Minangkabaus, Javanese, and the Bugis. And this year we're very happy to be working with the Banjar community in Singapore. We've worked very closely with the community here, the Banjar community in Singapore, and as well as in Banjarmasin and Banjar Baru in Kalimantan for the exhibition. We wanted to capture their personal stories and feature their family belongings in the exhibition and accompanying programs. Through this, we hope to promote and document the tangible and intangible cultural heritage of Banjaris in Singapore. We also want to highlight the interconnectedness and shared heritage of the Malay community across the Malay archipelago. The exhibition will run till July next year, while the Malay Culture Fest will run for 2 weeks. So do check out our festival microsite at www.malayheritage.gov.sg/MCF2020. I am Jamal, I'm Senior Manager of Programs at Malay Heritage Centre. Just some housekeeping before we start with the lecture. Because we are still under COVID, so I do seek your cooperation to sit 1 meter apart. And also, if you have any questions or whatever, keep your questions until the end of the lecture. We strongly encourage that you do not shout your questions towards us, because we do not want to encourage saliva flying through the air, and either Mr. Tan or myself get sick. I don't want. So please hold your questions. This is a QR code for you to submit your questions. So just capture the QR code, and then it will take you to a Slido page, which then I will read your questions on my cell phone and post them towards Mr. Tay. All right? So yeah. Thank you very much. Because we also cannot pass you microphones, because after every time we pass you microphones, I need to sterilize the microphones. It's not very practical. Yeah. Okay. So Mr. Tay Thye Sun is a renowned gemologist. He has been practicing gemology after graduating from the Geological Institute of America since 1980. I was born in 1980. Yeah. So you've been dealing with diamonds as long as I've been alive. So before venturing into gem testing, Mr. Tay was an experienced gem dealer in both wholesale and retail jewelry business. In 1985, he came across some natural rubies with very little inclusions, which were very difficult to authenticate to determine its natural composition. This it prompted him to find out more about gems, and eventually leading him into the world of gem research. Inclusions, later you'll explain. Inclusions is actually what's part of the gemstone, right? Yeah. So to date, he has co-authored numerous articles in international gemologist journals. He was invited to speak in APEC Melbourne 2000, APEC Beijing 2000, 60th anniversary of the German Gemological Association 1992 in Germany, and the prestigious meetings of International Gemological Conference held in Spain 2001, India in 1999, Germany in 1997, and Thailand in 1995. Too many, a lot. These are just a few, including these ones. So in 2013, Mr. Tay Thye Sun was awarded the Honorary Fellowship of Diploma in Gemology at the 100th anniversary of the Gemological Association of Great Britain. He is a member of the International Coloured Stone Association, the Diamond Exchange of Singapore, and Honorary Secretary of the International Gemological Conference. So without further ado, I hand you over to Mr. Tay. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this talk on diamonds, and my slides, I prepare about 80 of it, so hopefully we can go through very quickly within the next 2 hours, okay? So, So just now. And also, Mr. Jama, thank you very much, and for the people who assist me just now. And my name is Tay Thye Sun. I'm a geologist, actually. I started as I studied in the University of London. Back in 1976, I graduated, and I went on to do my Imperial College at the University of London, a master's degree. So after I graduated, I decided to go into gemology, and that's how I end up with gemology over the last 40 years. Okay, so I have to get close to the mic. Normally, I just walk around. For international conference, I just walk around with a mic. Okay, so the topic is about diamonds, and of course, I'll just give some introduction first, and followed by properties of diamonds, why diamonds are so valuable, and most important about Kalimantan diamonds, and of course, followed by conclusion. This is the first first plate with the appearance of the rough diamonds. Okay, maybe I can use my pointer too. So this is a rough diamonds in the octahedral appearance. This is a very crystal habits of rough diamonds. And of course, diamonds are girls' best friend. A movie made famous by Marilyn Monroe back in 1953. And gentlemen prefer bronze. That was modern times. And of course, diamonds were first found in India, 2000 BC. And every time people think that it's actually from South Africa, wrong. Okay, India was the first country where they have discovered diamonds, and they're the one who appreciate diamonds much more than any other culture. And of course, dating back 4,000 years. And the diamonds become very valuable about 400 BC and very much associated with the power and social status. You can see here the Maharajas and the ladies here were wearing a lot of jewelry. So you can see this. And of course, the Romans came about diamonds about 3rd century. And this one is set in the ring here. And maybe I can just put it around like this so that it's easier for me to see the slides. And of course, this one is rough diamond. They haven't been faceted yet, and they were set in the ring. This is 3rd century. And this was used as a symbol of Beethoven. And of course, engagement of Mary of Burgundy of France to the Emperor of Maximilian of Austria in 1477. That was the beginning of using diamonds as a wedding gift, okay, wedding entombment. And of course, if you look at this picture here, Mr. Singh here, and Maharaja, and he's back in 1891, 1938, Patila in Punjab, India, and he got a whole necklace of diamonds. You can see here, whole set of necklace of diamonds. And the biggest diamond here in the middle was 234 carats. And other smaller pieces are like 73 to 18 carats of diamonds. And of course, they have Burmese ruby there as well, and set with plenty of natural pearl. So pearl was the earliest form of appreciation besides diamonds. And here you are, the crown jewel of Shah of Iran. And he has a diamonds set, this crown is set with 3,380 pieces of diamonds, and with emeralds and other gemstones. And the centerpiece is set with 60 carat light yellow diamonds. And of course, when he's passed, these jewels are now kept with the National Bank of Iran as a treasury. Okay. And other than that, you have Koh-i-Noor diamonds, very famous diamonds from India, the Mountain of Light. And there was supposedly many wars being fought over this. And of course, the size is about the size of an egg like this. I saw the rough replica of it in London Museum, and it's about this size. Okay? So of course, when it was given to Queen Victoria in 1850, somebody commended it at the Crystal Palace exhibition, saying that it's not very nice. So they recut it from this size of 186 carat into 108 carat. Total loss of nearly 80 carats of diamonds. Okay, so you can imagine, and it's set in the Queen Mother's crown jewels. The other piece of jewelry, and this is very expensive too. 3,000 diamonds is set in this crown jewels, and Queen Elizabeth II. Of course, on the top there's your Cullinan diamond, which is from South Africa, Cullinan II, which is 317 carat. The biggest one that she holds is this scepter here. It's 530 carats of diamonds. Okay, 530 carats as Kalimantan 1. And she had the hand holding the world. So imagine the British Empire controlled the world for 300 over years, just like the Dutch do. And of course, there's a piece of ruby there that looks like ruby, but actually turned out to be a spinel, because my friend was a gemologist, also a geologist, Mr. Alan Jobbins and Ken Scarrett, and also Dr. Roger Harding. They were invited to the Queen's vault, jewelry vault, to investigate all and catalog them into two volumes of the jewels of the crown jewels of England. So other than that, you have this famous Hope diamonds. It's a cursed diamonds, and this Hope diamonds was supposedly taken from idols, statues in southern India, and smuggled all the way to Europe. And eventually in Europe, it was given to King Louis XIV, and somehow they're during the uprising in French revolutions. This piece of diamonds was smuggled all the way to America. And in order not to return the diamond, the new owner, decided to cut it, reshape the stone. And how they found out was my friend, Professor Francois Vach. He's the curator of the National Museum. One day he was looking through the drawers, and he found that there's a replica of the old French blue. They call it the French blue. Okay? And it looks like a heart shape. Okay? The thickness was the same as these Hope diamonds, except for the side. And of course, the color is quite similar. And on top of that, this diamond was shaped, grind away on the side. So the heart shape become sort of oval shaped or cushion shaped, I would say. Okay? So these deep blue diamonds, it was a curse in the sense that anybody who owned it got accident, knocked out by cars, get sick. And in Turkey, the Sultan of Turkey, his empire nearly collapsed because of that. They attribute to that. There's a movie for this, by the way. And Hollywood make a movie of this. And of course, the last person who owned it, of course, is McLean, Mrs. McLean. And she loaned it out to a friend for parties only. Okay? So these are Hope diamonds. And the other famous diamonds belongs to Mrs. Hillary Clinton. And of course, it's 4.25 carats, yellow diamonds. It's rough diamonds, by the way. By the way, his family, the Clinton family, actually collect rough stones. Natural tourmaline, natural aquamarine, natural, without cut. Appreciate the beauty of natural gemstone. Okay? So she kept it this way. Okay? And of course, it's worn during the inauguration of the President Clinton in 1993. And other than that, you have the D flawless. This is 100 carat diamonds. And of course, D flawless is a very top quality of diamonds. Clarity is flawless, and the color is the top D color. And in 2015 was sold for $22 million. Okay? So you can imagine how expensive it can get, and sold by Sotheby's. Okay? And this is a blue diamonds. Again, Blue Moon diamonds was sold for $48 million US dollar. Okay, 12 carats. And Hong Kong billionaires named it under her daughter's name. A young daughter, about 12 years old. Blue Moon of Josephine. Can you imagine that? Her daughter owned this blue diamond now. Okay? A pink diamond, the pear shape, 15 carats, beautiful, beautiful pink, $31 million. The best one I saw was 11 carats some years ago. Some jewelers asked me to evaluate for them 11 carat stone. It's worth about nearly $5 million. Okay? And some people from Middle East bought over the stone. And other than that, this is Banjarmasin diamonds. Okay, this was originally a 70 carat rough. Okay, eventually recut it in Amsterdam to the 36 carat. Okay, and the size is 12.1, 1.7, and thickness is 1.4. The color is white, probably about FG color. And I look at the inclusion here, you can see there's black marks on top there. You can notice that it's about SI quality around there. And it's in the Dutch Museum. And of course, a Rijks Museum in Amsterdam. And based on the market value, I estimate about $2 to $4 million. Okay? So hopefully one day they will return it back to Indonesia. Hopefully. And some of the pieces have not been seen before, but this was recorded, Matang diamonds. Okay? It's believed to be about 367 carats. It's looked like pebbles, discovered in 1787. And of course, this one is worth, it belongs to the Raja of Matang, and worth about $150,000. Of course, if it is still around, probably worth much more than that. Okay? And anybody know about this? I just read it from a literature, okay, from Indonesia. There's quite a few big diamonds. The last one I saw was about 40 years ago. Some people on a pilgrimage all the way from Indonesia passed by, stopped by Singapore on the way to Mecca, and he came to my lab and asked me, can you get somebody to buy these 40-carat yellow diamonds, rough diamonds, octahedral shape, perfect crystal shape, perfect, you know. So it's this that region of Indonesia, Martapura as well as Landak, I visited before, and it's very rich with diamonds, more than 1,000 years. Okay. And I pick out some pieces of photos, and in fact, I evaluate these pieces before, about 30 over years ago, for my client, Dr. Chia. His family has this tiara, okay, set with intan, okay, a copy of a Victorian, and this picture was taken from Edmund Chin's book on the Finding the Phoenix. And of course, you have this clothesline, okay, 3 pieces, and this young lady holding a lamb. So the story is that Mary had a little lamb, and of course, on that you have trees surrounding it, and the trees are with the squirrel. So in Chinese, this one means joy for that. And of course, other than that, you have Malay jewelry, we have Western influence, and this one, Klosang, depict of a more floral motif. You can see here, floral motif with coronet, a small crown-like appearance, small crown, okay, and pomegranate at the bottom here. Yeah, so you can see it's Klosang wear with sarung kebaya. And other than that, you have a gold and intan fashion in the star. A crescent moon, you can see that here. Crescent moon plus the star. This was influenced by Malay jewelry in the 19th century, of course, with the emblem of Islamic religions. And it also happened during that time in 1870, they have helicomet. Okay, so in England, they used that as an example for, it capitalized on the astronomical phenomena, okay, using stars and even sunburst motif for the Victorian pieces of jewelry. Okay, and just 2 days ago, I came to this museum here. I think you should go and take a look and see some pieces of bangle with intan, okay, floral motif, and the second one, of course, with the insect motif, and gold and intan, and plus, of course, you have the Klosang again to be worn on with the kebaya, and you have the necklace of floral motif in the necklace. Yeah, all these are set with intan and belongs to National Museum of Singapore. And of course, what is rose cut or intan? This is actually a slice of the diamonds, okay, taken from the chips. Okay, on the left-hand side, you can see there, it's a slice of diamonds. It's come from one of the octahedral crystal shape, okay, on the left-hand side there. And of course, on top of that, you have the rose cut when it's faceted them in 3 manner or even 6. And the rose cut is with a flat back. The back is totally flat. This is all developed during the 15th and 16th century, okay? And of course, it continued out to today. And you can see, I brought some diamonds here as well. Later, you can take a look of this rose cut. It's a flat back, brass with the facet on top. And of course, during that time, from 15th to 16th century, they have developed into Antwerp rose cut, which is in 3 steps. And of course, the light reflections coming from that will give it much more reflects towards the observers rather than to the side of the stones. Okay, and then you have the full hollow rose with the 24 facet on it. Then you have the boat-shaped rose cut, and on top of that you have the pear-shaped rose cut. Okay, so these are set in the very subtle way, and it makes the jewelry very nice appearance. And much later, when in the 19th century, the development of brilliant cut start to develop. This is Peruzzi cut. The Venetians start to experiment with octahedral shape. In the old days, very difficult to facet any diamonds at all. So they developed a new technology of using diamond powder to grind away the surface, and on top of that, you polish it as well. So this is the development of the first round brilliant cut. It's called Peruzzi cut. Okay? And of course, this was eventually incorporated in many of the jewelry found in the Peranakan jewelry or Malay heritage jewelry. Okay? And something about diamond itself. What is it made of? Actually made of carbon. And the crystal structure of diamond is actually tetrahedral. So you can see that tetrahedral structure. Okay? And tetrahedral structure is actually three-legged and one pointing up, all bound together by covalent forces bound together by the carbon atoms. And of course, you know carbon of graphite, which is your pencil. You can just grind easily, break away easily. And why is it so? Because the structure is such that, it's layered in nature. Okay? It's layered in nature. And the distance between each atom is about 0.335 nanometer. It's very, very packed, but then, of course, it's gliding. That's why graphite has been used as a lubricant in engine oil. Okay? And whereas diamond, on the other hand, is tetrahedral structures, it's three-legged, very stable form. You build it up to a structure whereby creating this, and very, very hard, of course. Okay? So you can see that on the left-hand side of the slides here, there's a growth. So diamond just grows from a tiny crystals, from a seed crystal. It's eventually expanded out. And you can see that the zone structure, this zone indicating just like a tree trunk growing from the baby tree, the tree trunk all the way to the large one. Okay? And of course, so this is the diamond crystal structure. And if you were to slice it along the plane of the octahedral, just excuse me. Here or not, this is octahedral crystal rough diamonds. Okay, if you were to take this face, this is one of the octahedral face. If parallel to this octahedral face, you put a knife here, you get it, slight tap, this whole face will come off. So that's how they cleave the diamonds. So the atoms between this area is the softest. Okay, but the atoms along this area is the hardest. That's why diamonds, every time that people say, oh, diamond is very hard, the hardest on earth. Yes, it's true. If you hit hard, this direction is all very hard. So it's octahedral is pyramid end to end like this. Okay? So this face here is very hard, but if you were to place a blade here, you hit, this whole thing will just come off easily. So that's it. So diamond actually has a weakness. And that weakness has four directional weakness, where the atoms slightly further apart from each other. Okay? And because of that, diamonds, that weakness is, we call it cleavage plane. Okay? So the word cleavage direction. The cleavage direction. Okay? So that's how they do it. And diamond, of course, belongs to octahedral. You can see here, this is from Martapura, three-pointed diamonds. I got it from the miner himself. And because at the mining area, they're normally allowed to, they sell if it's smaller than 10-pointer. So the miner themselves can use it for buying cigarette or even have his lunch and things like that. Okay? So this is a very tiny one, octahedral crystal shape, and this is exactly what it looks like. I got a piece of Martapura diamond later. You can take a look and see. It's a 1 carat 80. You can take a look later. It's a bigger size, and it's octahedral crystal shape. Okay? And the hardness of diamond, everybody knows, is 10. Specific gravity, 3.52, of course. This is important too. And the color of diamonds range from colorless to yellow, brown, green, pink, blue, and red and purple. Of course, red diamond is very rare. In Sultan of Brunei has one red diamond. Some years ago, a friend of mine got an auction, a 94-pointer red diamond, and he bought it for about nearly $900,000. through the auction in Sotheby in Geneva. The moment Sultan of Brunei heard about that red diamonds, he got hold of my friend. He said, please send it over to me, sell to me at 10% only. Oh. So my friend said, no, why? Just 10%. This one is much more price, you know. So anyway, he got it cheap. Sultan of Brunei got it cheap. That was 1993 or 94. You know? So red diamond is very rare. Okay. And of course, the cause of color in blue diamonds due to borons. And the cause of color in yellow is due to nitrogen. Okay. And the cause of pink, or even the pink color, or even purplish, is due to stress within the crystal structures. Okay. And the cause of color of green is due to radiations, because diamonds are buried in the ground for millions of years. And in the process, many of these radioactive solutions are floating around and irradiate the stones to make it green. Okay? So Indonesian diamonds in Martapura or even Landak region, I've seen green diamonds. Okay? So it's very rare. And if you were to cut, make sure the cutter use a slow polishing wheel, not a fast polishing wheel. And why is it so? Because my friend who did the research in Switzerland found out that if you were to spin 6,000 RPM, you know, too fast, the heat generated is more than 500 degrees Celsius, you change the green color to brown. So the moment you change the green color to brown, the price of from green, which is a lot of much more expensive, will drop through the floor. You know, brown diamond is very common. So make sure that you get the right cutter to cut the stone. Okay, and of course, diamonds, adamantine luster is a Greek word for unconquerable, and of course this adamantine means the highest order of reflections. Okay, brightness. And just to give you a bit of atomic structure of diamonds, actually is a natural diamonds contain some kind of defect, okay? And this impurity within the crystal structure, this defect is a substitution of carbon atoms by other elements such as nitrogen, such as boron, okay? So to that extent, when you have this color center, you know, creating this defect, like for example this, you know, nitrogen here, N, surrounded by carbon atoms, okay, will give yellow diamonds for that matter. And if you were to surround it with certain borons, of course, you give it a blue, and so on. And scientists, like for example, discovered that actually they have to classify them. There's Robertson, Fox, and Martin. This back in 1934, they said, okay, let's call it type 1 for diamond that is present on nitrogen. And there's no nitrogen one, or very little nitrogen, negligible nitrogen, then they call it type 2. That's how they come up with type 1 and type 2 diamonds. Okay? So the type 1, of course, is about 98.9%. From colorless, of course, to natural diamond, which is yellow, you can get yellow diamonds. And some even contain some nitrogen isolated, which is 0.2%. And of course, you can get orange color in diamonds, which is quite rare actually, orangey yellow or even brown to the extent, which is type 1B, type 1B. And type 2, of course, contain no or even negligible amount of nitrogen, so it's 0.2. So this type is normally quite pure. So 2A, type 2A is pure colorless and best conductor of heat, 5 times faster than copper. Okay? And on top of this, this material is, many of them are quite colorless. And the queen jewelry, Cullinan 1, Cullinan 2, from a Cullinan diamond, which is about this size, 3,100 carat, 3,106 carat. This size, okay, was chopped into 11 pieces, all given to the queen during Queen Victoria time. Okay, found in South Africa, Cullinan mine. The chairman was Cullinan at the time. So it's donated to the queen herself. And eventually, those diamonds are type 2. Colorless, pure, D color, top color. Okay, imagine that. It's very rare. So imagine. And type 2, of course, B. Type 2B is boron, present impurities, and this gives the blue color. And of course, this one conducts electricity much better. Okay? So we get those things out. So now, why diamonds are so valuable? There's 3 important things: beauty, durability, and rarity. Okay? Beauty derived from the color itself. There's number one that strikes you when you look at the diamonds. The second is how pure the stone is, the clarity. Then the third one, of course, is the cut itself that bring up the shine of the diamonds itself. And the fourth one, of course, is carat weight. The bigger the stone, the better the quality. A bit bigger, the better and more expensive. And of course, other than that, you have durability, hardness, toughness, and chemically stable. Diamond got to be very hard and very stable too. It doesn't melt in any way. So for that matter, of course, that itself, durability is very important. And rarity is also very important too. Okay, not many countries produce diamonds. In Southeast Asia, only Indonesia produces diamonds. There are some diamonds in Burma. I went to visit the mine in southern part of Burma. It's about 2 years ago, and I wrote about it. And Thailand also, in Phuket. Anybody know about Phuket? Holiday resort? Yep. Actually, they found diamonds there. Yes, yes. So next time go there, when you take a holiday there, when COVID is over, don't go and sit in the sand bath and sun bathing and things like that. There's diamonds in the sand. They found it out. Why? Because that was after the Second World War. They were dredging for tin ore on the offshore and along the shoreline. And long before, they found, hey, what is this crystal shape of diamonds? It looks like this shape. Okay? Eventually end up with sending the stone to Chulalongkorn University. My friend identified them. Hey, it's diamond. So, Boomtown Charlie. So there are some shops who are still having some old pieces are there. I hope they are still mining them, but based on what I understand is tin ore business collapsed, so there's not much business there. So hopefully they have still get some diamonds. So my Thai friends, my friends who are in the geological field, are very happy, that they have some diamonds in their hand. Okay, from Phuket. Okay, so there's a stretch of from Momet to Ting Dor, which is in the Burma side, and stretch all the way south to Phuket. That stretch itself is diamonds. Okay, so you go for holiday in Phuket, remember, look for diamond there. Okay, so sorry, yes. So yeah, I have to get nearer. So one of my students asking me, sir, what about costume jewelry? I said, costume jewelry is beautiful. Yes, it can be beautiful. Jewelry can be durable, but costume jewelry is not rare. So that's it now. So make sure that it's something rare, which is play an important part, just like gold or to a certain extent platinum. And of course, demand and supply at that time is very important. So right now the demand is not there, but plenty of supply. The price drop. Okay. Tradition also play important, but value factor, 4 C's. Yeah, that contribute to this, the tradition factor. And of course, our forefathers, our parents, and all that always say that, keep diamond jewelry, gold jewelry, all these are precious. So take with care, and things like that. Okay? And the last one, portability, something that you can transport without anybody knowing it. You're carrying $1 million, $2 million worth of jewelry. Okay? So this is what happened. I have customers who came all the way from Indonesia or even from other countries, during the economic crisis during Lehman Brothers time, 2008 collapse, or even in Asian crisis in 1997. Some Indonesian customer has plenty of jewelry, but their land got burned down, their house got attacked and things like that. They quickly bring all the diamond jewelry to Singapore and asked me to evaluate for them. So you can imagine, you can transport a couple $1 million worth of items, without anybody knowing it, just in a small little pouch, Okay, so the transportation of these diamonds is actually quite elusive. So what is the value of diamonds derived from the 4 C's? Beside, you have the clarity, color, cut, carat weight. Of course, 5th C is cash, no money, no talk. So you can see here on the left-hand side is a round brilliant. Then you have the cushion yellow diamonds. Of course, in the old days, not many people say that, yellow diamond is not valuable. But nowadays, it's more valuable because they're quite rare. Okay? And you have a cluster of diamonds earring. So what is clarity? Clarity is about the inclusion and blemishes that interfere with light reflections. And you can see here on the left-hand side, you have the inclusion that is a pinkish garnet crystal found, pirate garnets found in this particular diamonds. I went through thousands of diamonds just to find one piece diamonds with this tiny crystal of garnet crystals. And for jewelers, they say, this is no good quality. But for scientists like myself, we enjoy it. Why? Because this is a very good sign of deep-seated underground, because the diamonds are formed 200 kilometers down in the earth itself, deep in the earth. And recently they discovered that diamonds can be found 600 kilometers based on the inclusion by studying this. Okay? And of course, other blemishes like this, a chip off and even crack off and things like that, this will influence the quality of diamonds. And just to give you an idea of the quality introduced by Geological Institute of America, starting from flawless, you have totally clean stone until the lowest quality, which is I1, I2, I3. So flawless, of course, is clean without any blemishes, internal and externally. Okay? Then followed by internally flawless, you have some blemishes on the surface, but internally is still clean. Then VVS 1 and 2, which is very, very slight included. And we have pinpoint like this, for example, a tiny crystal of diamond right on the table, and some natural skin of diamonds. Sometimes cutter cut it, just leave it there. For that reason, it's been, so that's why the quality drops slightly, VVS 1 or 2. And then VS 1 and 2 is very slightly included. We have crystal like this getting larger and larger. And of course, SI 1 and 2 slightly included. You have more cracks going through the stones. And once you go, with this type of inclusions, the quality, the clarity drops. Okay? So of course, the last one, of course, I1, I2, and I3 included imperfect quality. So this lowest quality is, they are almost like 80% of it, many of the gem, so-called gem quality, but of the low range, can be sold quite cheaply in the market. Okay? Am I on time? Okay. And color is the other quality that you look out for. Of course, colorless is the most important, from D color. Then why some people ask me, why is it D? D for diamonds. Start with GIA, And back then, many dealers were using A and B and C and so on. So GIA came in and said, okay, let's start. Back in 1953, they started with D color. So we end up with D quality, okay, colorless range. So DEF is colorless, then GHIJ is near colorless, and of course, KLM is light yellow, and eventually all the way down to Z, which is yellow. Okay? Any color that is more than Z is considered as fancy. So the fancy color can be blue, can be grayish color, it can be pink color, and it can be yellow, intense yellow, like Tiffany yellow, and of course you can have brown color too. And so the other Z color is fancy color. Okay? And how you grade them is using a diamond color diamond light itself. Okay? You need a color grader like this. Okay? You place a diamond table down, and then you compare them side by side to each other. This is the master stone. Okay? Okay? Using a master stone, say for example GHI, you have the allocated color graded by GIA already. Then an unknown comes along, you just match them side by side. So we call it the master eye effect. Okay? So this is how you do the grading of color. And of course, this color grader is placed inside here. And diamond light is a white light, temperature of 5,000 to 5,005 Kelvin. And then, of course, the background is non-reflective. Okay? And just grade them from there. Okay? And this takes something you need to be trained to do it. Okay? And next one, of course, is cut itself. Cut bring up the light itself. As you can see here, a well-cut diamonds, you have a lot of reflections of white light. So this, we call it the brilliance. Brilliance comes from here. And of course, the dispersion of this breaking of light into its component color, you can see yellow, you can orange, and blue, and so on. So you have dispersions. So if you were to move the diamonds, we call it scintillation or sparkle. So means diamonds can sparkle very nicely, because diamond can bend the light much better than any other stones. Okay? And of course, if it's a well-cut diamonds, that means the crown angle is perfect. It's 34.5 degrees, and pavilion angle 40.75. This to get the light from the outside, and when captured by the stone, eventually reflect back to our eyes. That's what we are showing here, a well-cut diamonds. Okay? Some diamonds cut too deep at the pavilion, so there's a leakage of light. So if once a leakage of light through the pavilion, the whole diamond looks dark. Not nice at all. Okay? On the left-hand side, of course, fish eye is when the stone is cut very shallow. Okay? So light, of course, escape through the side here. So you can see light escape through the side here and end up not nice at all. So the extreme of this too is no good. Okay? So preferably well-cut diamonds. Okay? And here you are. This chap, Mansell Trukowski, he introduced the well-cut diamond back in 1919. Okay, a lot of people say that, oh, the hearts and arrow, he's the one who introduced long time ago. No, 100 years ago. Okay, and he propounded based on the mathematical calculation. If you go to the internet, you can search diamond design by Mansell Trukowski. You will read how the mathematical calculation based on sine and cosine. Okay, and he based on this idea of the crown angle 34.5 degrees, you can see on the left hand side there, and the pavilion angle got the 40.75. So to get the light reflects all the way back to our eyes. This is how he projected at that time. And of course, with that, this was what market people are selling now, so-called hearts and arrow. 8 hearts and 8 arrows. And this was discovered by accident by one of his Mansell Trukowski grand-nephew. He was working in Japan at that time. So when he discovered, then the Japanese call it hearts and arrow. So this idea went to America. Of course, America controlled the whole world, so the idea just floated around now. So everybody's buying diamonds who are getting married, so they get the best quality, they will cut hearts and arrow. Okay? And of course, hearts and arrow, you have the excellent cut, very good cut, good, fair, and poor. So a lot of times you can see in the GIA report, the excellent cut is where you preferably have the best quality of cut itself. Okay? So that was on cut. And the last one for carat weight, of course, this carat is referred to the carat seeds, in the Middle Eastern country. Okay? And the weight is about 1 carat is 0.2 of a gram. 1 gram is 5 carats, and 1 carat is 100 points. So anybody who is buying a diamonds, more than a carat, the price jump up. More than half carat, the price jump. So a lot of times it's very importantly, you look at the size itself. If you are buying a diamond that is just below 1 carat, you pay 20% less. Okay? So you buy a 98 pointer or buy a 99 pointer diamonds, then you don't pay a 1 carat price, of course. But it looks like 1 carat, so you don't tell your friends. Okay, next one, how diamonds are formed actually this is quite interesting, because from a geological point of view, see, form 2 different types of rocks. One is kimberlite rocks, and the other one is lamprey. And the scientists discovered that actually deep in the earth, this is a cross-section of a depth. Okay, this red mark itself is where the reservoir of diamonds, deep in there, is 150 kilometer to 200 kilometer depth. Okay, and because of volcanic eruption, such that all these materials are brought up to the surface very violently, through this pipe here, these volcanic pipes. Okay, so imagine 150 kilometers within an hour, it shoot up to the surface. It's like faster than a jet. Why? Because the presence of carbon dioxide, ultramagnetic rock. Okay, it shoot up very quickly. Just like you got a Coca-Cola can, you shake it, the carbon dioxide inside expanded, it just explode. So imagine this. And many times students ask me, hey, Indonesia got a lot of volcanoes, how come there's not much diamond in Java Island? No, because this was discovered
diamonds occur about nearly 1 billion years ago to 3 billion years ago. Okay? So diamonds occur around that time. Okay? So the modern volcanic eruption don't have the diamonds. Too bad. But Indonesia, like Martapura or Landak, they have diamonds there too. These are alluvial deposits, which I'll talk more about it later. Okay? So, 40 minutes left. Oh, quick. So this is the world of diamonds, just to give you an idea. There's about nearly 60 countries, 64 countries that have diamonds. Okay? And the biggest producer of diamonds is Russia, by the way. Okay? In Mir, in Siberia, Yakutia. Okay? And Archangel also here. They produce about close to 30 million carats of diamonds a year. Okay? The total world production about 100 million carats, 110 million carats. It used to be about 180 million carats. Okay? And just to show you, where is it? Indonesia here. Many of these Indonesian diamonds, up to today, we still cannot know where they actually came from. And scientists like Robert Hall, Dr. Robert Hall, even Metcalf and all that from my university, Royal Holloway College, they suggest that this actually, if you were to piece them together, okay, Latin America can be fixed like a jigsaw puzzle into South Africa and into Africa, okay, if you were to bring this Latin America back to here, and Australia you bring back here, Antarctica you bring it up here, it was a piece of land, huge land. They call it Gondwana land, 200 million years ago. And within this piece of land, there are diamond, there are gemstones, they are formed already. And in the process, due to plate tectonics and how do they call that? Continental drift. All these are drifted apart in the process due to magma explosions and mid-ocean ridge. Okay? So eventually, Latin America moved west, Australia moved east, India break away from this part here, moved northeast, okay, collide with Euro-Asiatic plate, forming Himalayan mountains here, right here. So as a result, there's a lot of gemstone in Himalayan mountains. Not many people explore because it's too high and very cold also. So part of this Gondwana ancient block of material actually come from Australia. So Australia, this section here broke away and eventually joined Borneo. That's how scientists discovered that, okay? And here's Borneo, okay? And you have the Landak here, this region here, in the river Landak. And if you fly from Singapore all the way to Jakarta, from Jakarta to Pontianak, it's about a couple of hours. And then either if you go from Jakarta to Banjarmasin, right here, very simple, and near to Martapura, and there's Meratus Mountains, okay? And of course, Kalimantan means river of gold and diamonds. And the second oldest diamond producing country in the world, okay? And some people suggest that it was 3,000 years old, but I would put it about 1,000 years. Why is it so? Because the Indians are the earliest people who went to the island to do trading and found that they have diamonds. So teach the local people how to dig for diamonds. And the archaeological record found that the Malay and Chinese were there during the Song dynasty, the Song Chao. So it's more like 900, 1,200 years ago, okay? And of course, in the 16th century, the Portuguese provide the first written account of the Landak diamonds. And this is the French jeweler, Jean-Baptiste Tavernes. He described diamond trading in Batavia, of course now Jakarta, okay? And Sultan of Kalimantan used diamonds to pay tributes to Song dynasty emperor. Okay, these are all recorded in history. Okay, so it's going way back, more than 1,000 years ago. So imagine that. Yeah, so it's not just about 100 years ago. No, more than 1,000 years of historical record. And here you are, you have the rough diamonds. On the left-hand side is a 3-carat diamond, octahedral crystal, and the rest is about ½ carat to nearly 1 carat stone. I was there when I saw it, and I took the picture of it. cannot afford to buy everything. And here you are, because it's from discovery. Early days was in Landak region, in the northwest of Borneo, okay? And much later, in the 17th century, they discovered diamonds in Martapura, and then around the Meratus Mountains. And that day, the Dutch came along, colonized the place, and took all the diamonds and started the diamond cutting factory in Amsterdam. And they make other countries rich. Sorry, I cannot say that. Okay, some Dutch friend of mine, very good friend of mine. Okay, so the locality. This is in a way a geological map of Borneo, and here you are. The location of northwestern part is Landak region, where they have diamonds there. Then you have Puru Chahu and Kalian. There are diamonds discovered there. And of course, Chempaka. And that's where there are large development of diamonds there, in the swamp, found in the swamp itself. Okay? And of course, you have the Schwarzner granite, and then you have the Chempaka basins. Okay? So scientists postulated that this whole granite was actually come from another block of geological structures that eventually travel there and eventually slot in between there. Okay, so imagine this Schwarzner granite is about 350 kilometers size. Oh, how many times bigger than Singapore? And it's from here that they try to look for the source. You know, that's how I mentioned that diamonds actually come from the volcanic eruption. Is it? Look for that volcanic pipes. None. They couldn't find. I went there, look around, cannot find. My friend who went there also, they cannot find. And they look around here, all alluvial deposits. And here you are with the Kalimantan diamonds. With the help of Duridi Hamanto and my student Jimmy and Jason, we went along and just visit the Martapura, the entrance to Martapura. There's your junction with the tripods making a diamond replicate there on top. In fact, this is year 2002. They have a new one, the new diamond replicate up there, okay? And this research paper was done together with my friend, Dr. Ponsawat Watanakun from Kesesat University, and Miss Wilawan Atichat, you know, there, Miss Wilawan Atichat, and then Jason Lim, Meng Hong, and Jimmy Lee, and then Rudy Hamanto. This was published in the Australian Geological Journal in 2005. And of course, I presented this in the International Geological Conference in China in 2004. Okay? In Wuhan, by the way. Okay, these are the diamonds in Indonesia, has many colors. Okay, the most expensive was is blue and some pink one as well. There are pink one. I've seen pink one, 3-carat stone. Okay, it's very nice. Expensive too. Okay, and they have the brown one. Of course, this one is a black diamond. It's quite rare. Okay, many of the black diamond that you see there out there is all treated color. So you got to watch out. Ask them, natural or not? Don't know. Many are treated, irradiated, and then once it's irradiated, they turn black. Okay, so you have to ask them question whether it's natural or treated. Okay, this is a 25-carat bulk. We call it B-O-R-T, bulk. Rough black diamonds. And of course, the other one are 4-carat stones, 3-carat stones, and then this one, 1.5-carat stone, yellow and brown. Okay. I brought this one along here. This is a 1-carat 80 octahedral. Later, after my lecture, you can take a look. And there's the gem field of Danau Seran Swamp region, and that's where the extraction of diamonds from the gravels. And there's your geographical map, Banjarmasin there. Okay, you can see there. And then we stay in Martapura here, and every day we just go out for a week. You know, just go out to a few trees, just walk around and look see. Our Banga, which I'll show you, this is all made into a dam by the Russians to generate electricity. They discovered some iron ore there. So after a few years, iron ore ran out. So the dam blocked the river from flowing. So there's a lake there. So the people are digging diamond from the lake, okay, which I show it to you. Arianos, the same. and Pupu and Pum Pum. Okay, so the alluvial deposits. Just a quick one. Meratus Mountains there, and of course these are found in the paleo channels. Channel that is going way back nearly 60 million years ago, formed by the deposit flow of the gravels from all the different directions, eventually concentrated in the channel itself. We call it paleo channels. Okay, and the diamonds are found in this red patch here, and so is this. So the diamond miners themselves, they look for all this the gray patch like this. They look out for these gravels, and on top of that, inside here, they found diamonds. Here, look here, on the left-hand side here, you can see the mud, and it's in this mud, they found diamonds. Okay? The top layer is nothing, no diamond at all. This heavily gravel material, there's no, and from there, they put in water, suck them up all the way to the top using pylon, and then gravitational. So diamonds are just drop onto the pylon, and they eventually collect in the evening, and the people do the dulang later. So you can see here, our Bangai region is a lake now, and of course, there's your pump on the left-hand side, and there's people who dive into this river, into the lake itself, using the suction vacuum pump. So vacuum all the way through, all the way across this lake, and there's your pile of gem gravels. When I was there, the miner told me that they found blue diamond in this lot. Hey, what chai? What? Okay. So after you take the gravel, you wash them to dulang, and from there they discover small diamonds, big diamonds. Of course, bigger diamonds, more than a carat, are given to the boss, Haji there, who's in charge of the place, and Haji will look after the workers. This is how they work there. And a lot of times, the Haji is the one to provide the food for them, a shelter sometimes, and on top of that, financial support and things like that. And after they've discovered more diamonds, they just share among themselves. In fact, the bears want to go into Indonesia, but Indonesian government refused. It's good. This is good for the local. If the giant go in, they swap out everything and they leave you just the bone. Okay? Oh, it's not moving. Oh, sorry. So this is the trading place. It's not moving. Here, okay. Here's your shopping mall. In front of the shopping mall, it looks quite quiet. It's actually trading of diamond behind this shopping mall. Okay? And all in atap houses. Yeah, all in atap houses. I was surprised. I asked the Haji, I said, can I take photo? He said, no, you're not allowed to take photo. So that's why I cannot take the photo of trading, what's going on behind. Okay? And Haji is around, who is in charge of all the activities within the trading place. Okay, in just behind this building here. Okay? So it's from here that you can see a lot of diamonds. Different size, different shape, different size, and things like that. This is taken in the evening from one of my friend's house. Okay? And from there, you can see some of these cut and faceted ones too. Okay, next one. So the other locality which I'm going in is Landak region. This is about 2016. I went with my friend who is a professor, Andy Shen, Taiwanese graduate from the University of Cornell, and we together, Kuming and all, we went together. And on top of that, this research paper was published together with Yelu, and so Professor Hans Goosen, he's a Dutch geologist. He used to be based in Indonesia for a long time as a lecturer. And Professor Mega Rosana Fatima is in Banjarmasin University in Bandung. And of course, Kuming, my son, and Wiranto, he's the one, Wiranto Teng is based in Singapore, but then his family is from Ngabang. And so we all went together. Okay, just to show you the locations, and a bit of geology. There's your river, that Landak River flow down southward, okay? And the surrounding area is a geological structure is such that it's Cretaceous to the early tertiary. And of course, I went to Kuala Behe, okay? And Temoyo, these two localities. Okay? This river is full of gold. Every day there are people panning for gold. It's from this river. Okay? So that's why it's very famous for that. And there you are. It says Kuming, my son. Hey, he's not here. So, yeah, no, and then there's my friend, Professor Edison and Viranto, and Agus. There's Agus. He's the owner of the mine itself, and his father is there. Okay, so he took us in his boat, went up the river, about half an hour to 45 minutes. We reached there. There's people doing the mining operations. So Agus is supervising the place, and the workers, about 4 or 5 of them, using high jet water just to blast the soil and breaking up. So remember I mentioned just now, there's the muddy gravels where they have a lot of diamonds found in there. It is here the same thing in the north part of Borneo Island. Okay, so this is where they discover. And gold is the main thing. Diamond is the icing on the cake. Okay, you can see here. So this is a short video of having the palm extract, taking out the water from the river, eventually shoot at breaking up the soil here, and then eventually this soil is being sucked, pumped up, okay, all the way to the top here, okay, all the way to the top, and eventually segregate according to gravitational, okay. So this one, the morning, they usually start about 8 a.m. in the morning, finish work at 4 p.m. or maybe 3:30. Afternoon, they'll be working all the way through washing diamonds, dulang washing. Okay? There's Agus again, and there's next to the river, you can see that. Okay, thank you. Very good. So yeah, this gentleman is taking the gravels taken from the palong, and eventually wash and then eventually extract. Mostly, you take up the yellow cloth, you have see the gold flakes, and they melt it down into make gold balls. And of course, this is a schematic diagram of the locations. This is modified after Aziz. Dr. Aziz, he did the research in 2007 of this locality of diamond deposits. And diamond deposits are found in this yellow patch region, okay? And it's river Landak flowing downwards. And it's from here they found fossil woods, they have found diamonds, and even sapphires they found. And sometimes they have agate as well, okay? So there's quite an interesting mix of mineralogy. And the other locality is the Moyo. And I asked the young man who is the miner himself, his name is Bujan, Abang Bujan, or Pak, like Pak Bujan. He says he followed the old trail of the Chinese and Malay miners who have done pit into the ground, which they abandoned long time ago. So they went through all this pit, they opened up the pit. So they open cast mining, open pit mining, okay? Remove the whole surface and then go straight for the blackish soil here, right here, you can see here, muddy gray. And it's from here they discover blue diamonds, yellow diamonds, oh, so rich. Okay, and here you are. This is a research project that we done long time ago in 2002 and 2005. And here is all the Martapura diamonds, except for this one. Now, this one I bought at the mine. Looks like diamond, but it turned out to be zircon. What a shame. So the rest are diamonds. So I brought in this one here, plus I have in my pocket 3 rings, which we cut already. Later I'll show it to you, okay? And we went through microscopic study, cathodoluminescence study, infrared spectrometer study as well, Raman spectrometer study, all scientific level, okay? And of course, we had to name the sample, plus also the weight, the color of the diamonds from yellow to brown, orangey brown, or even colorless for that matter. And what is the crystal shape like? You know, they tried octahedron, then TH shapes, and so on. And of course, rhombic dodecahedral and octahedrons for that matter. So the crystal shape is like this. So there are more. I think there are some more crystal morphology of that too. the octahedra on this side. You have this, looks like bachang like that, Yeah? Actually, it's a twin crystal of diamonds. Triangular shape. We call it Mecca. Okay? The other one is tetrahexahedral. This one is slightly deformed. The shape has been deformed in the process of crystallizations. And this is a model of it. Okay? And of course, the surface itself, we've got radiation spot, green spot. If you have plenty of this green spot, it means the diamond look green due to radiation from the groundwater. Plus, you have the trigon crystal. You can see the trigon shape, triangular shape. Can you see the triangular shape? We identified this as a natural diamond. Not man-made. Man-made so far don't have such thing. Okay? And rhobic percussion marks, diamonds that brought up through the eruptions, knock around, and then they break with this rhombic shape. Rhombic shape, break. Okay? Then you have catoluminescence. Oh, sorry. Okay, correct. So catoluminescence, we use catoluminescence, we use electrons, high energy electrons to blast the stones, creating the luminescence. That luminescence, we see the structure of the diamonds, whether it's gone through slip plane or even plasticity and things like that. And from there, we can identify this yellowish-green one is present on nitrogen. Nitrogen infiltrated within the structure of the diamonds. Okay? And of course, when you see blue one like this, we know that these are natural diamonds. Okay? So shear structure or even a slip structure or displacement within the diamond itself. This one, there's a lot of paper published on this. Okay? I'm not going to go into details. So you get Raman spectrometer, you blast them with a laser, a 534 laser, which is green laser. From that laser, we excite the surface of the stone itself, giving the signal, and that signal will tell us that this signal will come in the spectrum like this, and we identify this spectrum based on the number itself. This is the outside from diamonds, natural diamonds. Okay? And on top of that, we have found also olivine or clinopyroxene or even zircon for that matter. That means this diamond has been found deep in the geological structure long time ago. Okay? And just to add in more infrared spectrometer to identify the different types of diamonds. Remember I mentioned there are type 1 and type 2. Within type 1 and type 2, we can split further. Type 1A, type 1B, type 1A, B, type 1AB. So this diamond we know that belongs to type 1A, type 1AA, AB, beg your pardon, and so on. There's quite a lot of things we can explain further from there. And of course, you know by the different types of diamonds, the geological formations. That means we look for the pipes, the volcanic pipes. But so far, nobody can find it. Okay? Our data is all tallied with the international research scientists from Europe or even America for that matter, but then where's the pipes, So the time span of the Gondwana land that breaks about 200 million years. So there's a lot of changes in that 200 million years, okay? So this is a summary of the Martapura diamonds from that region. And again, the weight, the color itself, this crystal morphology of the structure, and the inclusion that found inside or the surface, and even the different types and catoluminescent reports on that. So I just jumped in. So diamonds, of course, found since ancient time, used by many royal family or even noblemen. Now, of course, ordinary people like us, we can touch diamonds. And value of diamond, of course, because it's beautiful, it's durable, and of course, rare. And quality of diamonds is the 4 C's, clarity, color cut, and carat weight. And Indonesia is one of the oldest, in fact, one of the oldest diamond source in the world, besides India. Okay? And of course, some people say that it is about, the Dutch report about 50,000 carats of diamond taken from Indonesia. It's almost more than 1 million carats. Okay? For the industry to survive for that. Okay? So that's it, I think. Okay, this is all the research paper. This is not all the research paper. This is part of the research paper that has been quoted from. And the people I'd like to thank them is Dr. Ponsawat Watanakun, Bilawan Atichat, GIT, or Mineral Resource of Thailand, and Patari Lonton, who is a preparation for photography and computer work in Kesesa University. My professor, who is Tony Barber, he's emeritus reader from Holloway College. Professor Edison from China, Wuhan, and Professor Mega Rosana Fatima, Banjarmasin University, Bandung, Indonesia. Professor Hans Golson from Texas, USA. Dr. Steve Bergman and Dr. Charles Up, Dr. Han Koswan and Brenda Law, and my Indonesian friends who brought me there, Hapin, Agus, Bujang, and the workers, and Jason, Agus, even Bujan, his worker, okay? Of course, my family who has supported me all the time, and George Bosa, Graham Brown, they are the one who, this is Agus and his family, okay? And this is Bujang himself, and we have lunch there in this house, okay? And just to advertise a bit about my lab, we do the diamond grading. I've been doing this for 40 years now. This is my lab. You will bring some stone for testing. And these are my students from Tiffany to Bulgaria, Chopard, you name it, I've done it, you know, okay? And I was invited to give a lecture. In fact, this year they're supposed to have one on the Singapore National Crystal Growing Challenge, NUS, Chemistry Department. They invite me, so I give a talk to them, to the student competitions, okay? And I was invited around the world to lecture. This is one of the pictures in Russia and Australia. And in 2013, I received the Fellowship Award from Asia, the only one from Asia, by the way. And that's my professor, Tony Barber, and his wife, Brenda, my classmate from Imperial College, okay, in the British Club, and Serena there, my wife. And thank you all for your attention. Thank you. Any questions?
Okay, Chok, sorry, Mr. Tay, I'd like to invite you to take your seat for Q&A. Okay, if those of you who just came after my introduction, we are not receiving questions out loud. Please scan the QR code and submit your questions, and I will read it off Slido. Right? The reason for this is because we don't want to encourage any spread of saliva and all that. So yeah, your questions will be sent to me, and I will read it accordingly. First and foremost, thank you, Mr. Tay. We've had so many different types of people on our public lecture series, academics, mostly historians, literatis, and all that, community elders. This is the first time we have a gemologist.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Geologists as well.
Geologists as well.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, I think there's some technical questions we might be able to ask you.
No problem.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, while we wait for questions from the Slidos, let me I'll warm you up a bit. Okay. Firstly, the diamonds in the Kalimantan area, Banjarmasin areas, who owns them? And also, who are the primary buyers of this diamond? How are these diamonds traded outside Kalimantan?
Okay, the owner is Indonesian.
Indonesians?
Yes. That's why I mentioned just now. The De Beers want to go in to operate in a big way. Indonesian government will refuse. You let the small guys to work in the field, you know. Let them survive, you know. The Haji there also, in charge there. With respect to them, you know. The Haji who is the one who supported the community as well. Yeah? And they are the one who provide food, lodgings, or even support in terms of finance for the local people. So the local people can survive in that way. No matter how small it is, you know, they support the local. And on top of that is the buyers are actually coming from overseas. Whenever there's, I mean, it's more than 1,000 years of history, okay? And on top of that is many of this has connection to New York, Antwerp, because Antwerp is the center for trading of rough diamonds. Okay, so as a result of that, if anybody discover big diamonds or even pink one or even blue diamonds, they already have buyers already told them that, okay, you send me this, I will sell, I share profit with you. And that's how they work out to be. But in an ancient time, Many of this diamond went to India. And from India, they export to the rest of the world. So Borneo is like, nobody knows. Only much later when the Dutch, the Portuguese came in the 16th or 14th century, sorry about my date now. So the Dutch came along and eventually colonized Indonesia for 350 years. And that's where they get all the wealth and put into the country. Yeah, and it's from there the Dutch set up diamond cutting factory in Amsterdam in the 17th century. So you can see that connection. So as a result, sure got buyer going, who have connected to Europe or connected to America. Or now, of course, China is getting rich. So now there are people, previously I have friends from Japan who purposely go down to Jakarta, don't want to go to the mine. They go to Jakarta, make the transaction, whatever it is, and then go through a procedure whereby they get the license from the government to export this rough diamond and then go to other countries to be cut, for that matter. Yes?
Yeah, Mr. Tay, because the reason we invited you and also to talk about diamonds is how it's linked to the Banjar community in Singapore in particular. Could you tell us a bit about how the diamond traders, the Banjar diamond traders, how their business was structured perhaps in the late 19th century, early 20th century from Banjarmasin and Singapore?
Sorry about this. Okay, you asked me the right question. I don't have the actual answer. But then, based on what I understand, is that there's people who are trading diamonds in Martapura itself, or even in Banjarmasin. There are people who have connection to Jakarta. Eventually, from there, diamonds either brought to Singapore and sell from Singapore, and eventually can be exported from Singapore to other country, for that matter. And of course, as you know, as this exhibition, Orang Banjar, they are the one who has the connection to this mining and trading of diamonds, for that matter. So that itself is already shown in the exhibit itself. Okay. Yes.
Okay, we have a question here from Anonymous. They never put name. Some people got put name. Okay. How can you tell that a diamond is from that area, from Kalimantan or from?
The morphology.
Morphology.
The crystal structures, appearance, the appearance of the stones coming from that region.
Okay. Can you tell us a bit more? I think it's quite technical, right?
Well, I have limited experience, but then based on the appearance, and on top of that is because locally, you don't get outside people to come and sell the diamonds there. When you visit the mine itself, the miner will tell you that they are mined in that locality. So that's their honest opinion. Okay, that's their own mining process. Like for example, I mentioned Agus just now with Abu Jan. He stayed there. We went to visit his house. We even have lunch in his house, Agus' house, and then eventually go on his boat, travel all the way up the river to see their exploration and mining of the diamond in the open pit mining. And that itself is a proof that these are coming from that region. Yeah. And of course, during the process of trading, some people brought from elsewhere and brought it in. Okay, that is another matter altogether.
But because what you're saying is once the diamonds are all mixed up, it's quite hard to determine where they're from, unless you do a scientific test on the makeup.
Yes, of course, you can do scientific tests, but then most of the time is people, they are honest with you when they tell you, okay, this diamond is from here. Then they say, okay, we know that it's from here. Okay. Yeah.
We have some questions. Some of them are quite similar. Some people want to know any different gems from other Indonesian provinces, such as Jogja or Martapura, and also are there gold and other gemstones in the Cempaka mines?
Okay, gold is found in Sumatra and Java because of volcanic soil material, and on top of that they have opal in Banten province. Some years ago I went to visit in opal, and Chilayang, the village Chilayang in Java, Rakas Pintuk. That region is Banten province. They have opal mining going on for since 1970. Okay, and I wrote about this. I did the research on that opal from that region, and then there's another place where they have chrysocolla, blue stone. Okay, and this chrysocolla is a silicate. This material is blue color, and it's found in an island in Sulawesi. What's the name, Kuming? Batu Bajan. Yeah, blue color, bluish green stone. And in this region, we don't appreciate much. Indonesia, they appreciate a lot. In Taiwan, they appreciate much more. Okay? So you can imagine that these are something very precious. In China, of course, now opening up, then this particular stone is going to be very important. Okay?
The Indonesians like the agate also, right?
Yeah, agate is also very important too. It's come from the volcanic rocks itself. And this agate is cut into cabochons, this dome shape. And on top of that, this particular dome shape, it can be, looks like animal figures or flower patterns and things like that. It's very unique. Okay?
Okay, with this question, before I ask this question, I like to set a bit of context. One of the stories, a folk story perhaps, the beginning of diamond trade, initially because diamond is found more on inlands, based on the stories, and the coastal areas where the Malays were, the inlands were where the Dayaks were.
Okay.
Yeah. So the supposed first trading between the Dayaks and the Malays from the coast is through exchanging diamonds with salt.
Oh, interesting.
Have you heard this before?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Thanks for telling me that.
Yeah, so it's quite an interesting story because I think the value of salt is
just
important. It's very valuable, very important to inland communities who might not have access to it.
Okay.
So since you don't know about it, I don't think I can ask you this question.
Cannot.
Because this person wants to know.
My concern is about diamonds. How to see the geological part from a geological point of view. You know.
Yeah. Okay. So Richa wants to know how much gravel do they have to move to find a diamond? Can you share some insights on? So we understand the yield. This is a multi-part question. She has a few more questions.
No, one by one.
One by one. Okay. You take this one first.
The first part is in some countries like 23 tons of rock to 1 carat size. So imagine you have a 1 carat size diamonds. Okay. And let me show you 1 carat. How is the 1 carat looks like? So this is actually 1 carat looks like. This is a 1 carat 80. So you have 23 tons of rock. You know, it's quite a lot, you know. It's a size about like this, or double the size of this, me and Jama, this distance, you know. So imagine you have one, in fact, 23 tons, almost like a small lorry like that, no?
23 tons to get that.
To get one like this in some country, okay? I was in Africa and Namibia in 2017 for a gemological conference there. And their production is one ton of rock to 1 carat. 1 ton to 1 carat. So they are variable in different country to country, okay? So the 1 ton to 1 carat and 23 tons. There are some people who say that it's nearly 100 tons to 1 carat. So the more you want to process the material itself, the cost is going up. Understand? So for Indonesia-wise, this is like, you know, when we were there for the one day to look at diamond processing, they found more gold. That particular afternoon, where in Landak itself, you know, in Kuala Behe, they couldn't find diamonds. So when we went to the house of Agus's house, he showed us one whole bunch of diamonds, about 20 carats, 30 carats of them. It took them at least about 1 month, estimate about 1 month. Okay, so imagine it takes a long time to accumulate. And it's not everywhere you find this diamond, no. It's okay? Yes, that's the first question. Second one.
So you mentioned that the mines were owned by the Indonesians themselves.
Yes.
Are the mines regulated by the Indonesian government?
Yes, you have to.
What are the laws?
Yes, you have to follow the rules and regulations of the country.
Okay. So, are we saying there's no black diamonds in Indonesia technically? That everything is above board. So. It's legal.
Yeah, this all legal, you know. Yeah, no blood diamond. Come on. You know how many % of blood diamond there is in the world? Because of Angola and Sierra Leone. Okay, the local people, you know, they were having war with each other. Okay? It's an opposition party fight against the rightful government and the creating this imbalance. And on top of that, you know, in Angola itself, they take the children and threaten the parents. If your parent didn't vote for the oppositions, you know, we'll chop your children's leg off, we'll chop your hand off, and things like that. This is in Africa, you know. And mind you, if you look at the history, political history of Angola, is that on one side, city was controlled by the communist, so-called communists linked to Russia. Okay, this is because of the Cold War, you know, spill over from the Cold War. Okay, the countryside was controlled by the British Army, British and Americans, and this is the British and Americans who helped the so-called opposition party to fight against the rightful government. So they are the one who committed chopping of children's leg and parents' leg and things like that now. You know, so creating this terrible situation, you know. And this was, nobody was looking into it for a long time, about 20 years, 20 or 30 years going on, you know. Until the Global Witness and Amnesty International, based in London, decided to lobby, you know, the local white people, the lobby for the government to say, go to the United Nations to expose this so-called blood diamond situation.
But
in Indonesia don't have such thing.
But moving back to the Banjarmasin example, or even the Kalimantan examples, what about safety regulations? What about insurance? And about making a living? Whether
as long as you got to make a good living is
because
okay. You know?
I've visited the mines in Chempaka twice, and it looks pretty dangerous. One, when there's flooding, of course, you know, there's always risk of drowning, and the walls collapsing. I mean, are those also? Would you be aware whether there are regulations, safety regulations?
I have no idea.
You don't know?
No, we visit only for 1 week, you know. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'd like to remind those watching here and also at home, Mr. Tay is a gemologist, not a historian. Geologist and a gemologist and not a historian. This is a question from our curator, who can't be here today. She actually has a few questions. Most people encounter gems after they've been cut and set into jewelry. And as a geologist who also has traded in gems, what would you like to encourage amongst your lay jewelry buyer? And or what tips you have for gem enthusiasts? I think she wants to buy jewelry lah.
You buy jewelry, then you depends on your how much you got in your pocket, you know.
The fifth C, right? Cash.
Yeah, the cash. You know, how much you got $100 or you got $2,000, then you buy those that you can afford, you know, and then keep it as it is in a memento, you know. This is very important, you see. Don't overspend beyond the means, you see.
I think it might be linked to something I had experienced. When I visited Chempaka, the mines, there were a lot of the workers who had all these stones and they wanted to try and sell it to us or trade to us. So I actually purchased one small one. It was an uncut piece of diamond. I think barely a carat, just around this size lah. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. But something that small, what would a value of something like that be in the open market?
If you buy at the mine, say $100, then that value is about $100, unless you cut them. Because once you cut them, you expose the clarity of the stone. And then once you expose, then you know the color as well, then followed by the cut itself. So the 4 C's comes into play. And then once you cut, normally when you cut a rough diamond into a cut into a faceted stone, remind 50% wastage. Half of it disappear. Half of it disappear. So you have to watch out. Sometimes it may be less because the inclusion itself, the inclusion also influences the cutter itself. Okay? So that's why if you know, I don't mind to buy a rough diamond and keep it as it is and then set in the ring. A memento from that place.
Like Hillary Clinton's ring.
Yeah. That's right. You know?
Okay, this is another question. This is linked to another question from one of our audiences. What do you have to say about synthetic diamonds being touted as a more earth-conscious alternative to naturally mined diamonds? And do you think that environmentalists will put a stop to the mining of precious stones in general? Because there's obviously environmental impact on mining.
Mining is, especially in gem mining, is very small. Like Indonesian mining is very small operations. individual places, not cover. If it's mechanical mining, if you see mechanical mining, it's huge. Like in South Africa or Namibia, the land is like 400 kilometers. The land is cordoned off. And imagine that the place is giants, you know. Okay? So Indonesian mining is very small operations, very individual, small operation going on. You see, it's a matter of how you control the local government, how to control the environmental damage caused by erosion and things like that. And of course, this one need to be thrashed out with the local people. You see, rather than you we discuss this in the air like that. Now everybody can say, "Oh, we should do it properly like this." No. But you go to the local situation, the local people cannot handle it.
But have you encountered this kind of conversations happening in Indonesia? Is there
no, they don't. I didn't talk to me like that. I give you this example. In Thailand, they have ruby mining for about 100 over years. Okay, and they use mechanical mining, very large mechanical mining. What happened now? The country, no more producing ruby anymore. Finish. The resources end. Finish.
What, they've exhausted all the rubies. Okay.
So once you exhausted, the local people had no choice but to, some of them even travel all the way to Africa to work, to look for source for gemstones. Okay. So whatever small mining operation in Sri Lanka or even in Indonesia is good for the local people. They know what they have been doing for thousands of years. And do it properly. Of course, if you are conscious about environmental damage, then you have to discuss with the local people, like Haji, for example. They know. You see? So is the Western country always promote this so-called environmental consciousness and things like, okay, fine, you want to earn, why don't you give them some money, you know, do it.
Okay. So, someone, I think going back to Richa's question, if you can tell the origin of a diamond based on appearance, why isn't origin part of the conversation of a diamond? Like, for example, Burma ruby or Zambian emerald. I mean, why aren't diamonds called, you know, we've heard of Golconda diamonds, right?
That's from India.
That's quite a strong brand. But when we hear Banjarmasin diamond, we don't associate that with a similar strength of
No one
brand.
promote.
No one promotes.
Yeah, no one promote it. Where people promote. Many of these diamonds, actually, by De Beers standard, what they do is they buy diamonds from all over the world, put them in one big basket, then they mix them up together and then separate them into different lots, you know. And as a result of that, not many people identify. Only some people who are dealing with certain country, then they know, oh, this is from Congo. This is from certain locality of diamonds, certain color, like yellow diamonds, you know, very distinct. Coming from certain mine itself, then they say, oh, this is from this locality and so on. So country of origin only very much into rubies and sapphires. But country of origin for diamonds, no. Because it's not within the topics, you know, unless, of course, you mentioned just now Golconda. You know, Golconda is only ancient time, they said the best quality of diamonds has very white and very pure and things like that, you know. But elsewhere, like Indonesia, they also have white one and very pure one, but no one promote it. You need promotion on this particular stone. Okay.
Is it true that white diamonds are actually less rare than, say, colored precious stones like rubies, emeralds, and sapphires?
White diamond is rare.
White diamond is rare?
Yeah, colorless one is rare. For D-color, it's very rare. My whole life, I've been practicing for 40 years. You see less than 10 pieces of D-color. Very few. Very few. Okay?
Do you have an example?
No, I don't have D-color. I don't have D-color. I have the yellow ones. You have the cut one, which is this one is, let me see. This one is about J color.
Okay.
Yeah, later you can come and take a look and see. Okay, this one J color. Okay. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Tay, Frank wants to know if a lab wants to confirm provenance of Banjar diamonds, where should they look to find specific references for the Raman spectroscopy or other techniques?
No.
I think this person might have a Banjar diamond in his collection.
Yeah.
Want to know how much its value.
Yeah, you can look at the inclusions and things like that. You see. Again, you see, whatever I study here is only very limited amount. So there's no way to quantify, qualify it, okay? If you want to very sure about what your diamond you got from is from Banjarmasin. In fact, there's not many people study on it. Even university in Indonesia also, not many people doing it. Why? Because it's very costly to buy diamonds in the first place. And then once you buy diamonds, you have to slice it, you open up the stone. So once you open up the stone, you study the inclusion, then you know the locality where it comes from. Again, many of these inclusions are correlated to other countries too. So not many people study the inclusion of diamonds so in deep details in terms of country origin. Even in Europe also, not many people study. Only until recently, people start to be aware of, okay, maybe we can use inclusion to study, instead of like rubies and sapphires, they use inclusion to study in diamonds, okay, of country origins, okay?
Because from the inclusions you can identify where...
Well, you can to some extent, you can use other technique, like for example, you study the different types, I mentioned just now, the different types of diamonds, and maybe you can use the infrared spectrometer to do it, and then Raman to identify the inclusion in. To identify inclusion, like for example, if your diamond is this size here, and then you want to identify the inclusion got to be near surface. If it's not near surface, it's slightly inside by 1 mm, then the Raman spectrometer cannot identify already. That means you have to open up. That means you have to grind away the surface to reach the inclusion and study the inclusions. Not so simple as say, oh, I want to study the inclusion. No. Okay? But the other way to do it is using microscopic technique. That means you study the stone that has been polished away, okay, faceted one like this, for example, I have one here, and then you go inside and then you study the inclusion based on microscopic observations. And then from that microscopic observation, you study the crystal structures within that inclusions, okay? And then from there, we can know where they actually come from, okay? I hope that answers your question.
Sure. Sorry, I was looking for a question. Okay, your talk touched on diamonds and intans from Kalimantan. I think maybe what is the difference between diamond and intan is something some of us are asking. But also, being a gemologist and a geologist, would you be able to explain what is batu yakut? Do you know what batu yakut is?
Oh my goodness.
Or Jakob used in local jewelry?
I'm not sure. Maybe the seniors. No.
But can you roughly explain the difference between
intan is mostly flakes of diamonds, cliff surface. That's what I understand. And then and as a result of that, from that flakes, they've polished them into rose cut. And rose cut can be in 3 facets or even 6 facets and so on. So as a result, that one itself, it's been set in for centuries. They've been using that 15th, 16th centuries, and even until more recently too. Okay, so the faceted one, which is the old mine cut, is started about 19th century. So it's about 200 years. So earlier than that, there's a lot of time is set with a flake of diamonds like this.
Flake means
the slice
of
it,
a small piece.
Yeah, that's a.
So you chip it off.
It's not chip. It's actually diamonds found in the. It's like this. Yeah, it's a flakes like this.
So it's quite flat.
Yeah. Rose cut is flat stone. Okay. Maybe you can take a look and see later. Yeah. This is how it looks.
I went to visit the diamond cutters in Martapura.
Okay.
And one of the questions I asked them is like why is Banjarmasin diamond not as popular as some of the diamonds perhaps? You said that there was no promotion, but there's also an issue of cutting it. There's a particular...
The quality of cutting is
the quality of cutting.
No technology.
You require
technology. You need the technology to improve yourself. Years ago, when in Japan, in India, in Bombay and Surat, many of these diamond cutters were cutting poorly cut diamonds. So they import the technology from Antwerp. Okay, you learn from the Jewish people. Improve the technique, and then you bring in the manager who know how to manage the factory, and you improve the cutting of the process. So once you improve the quality of cutting process, you improve your final product.
Okay, what is lacking in the cut Banjarmasin diamonds?
You need to improve your technology. That means you invest in technology like new machines, a way of cutting, and of course different angles and things like that. This one need money to be invested into it. You know, you cannot just depend on the old technology.
So they're still cutting it with older technology even today.
Yes. You need to. You need to improve on that. You know, you have to be trained. Okay. Like my friend is a Belgian guy. He went in Sri Lanka to teach Sri Lanka how to cut diamonds. And he stayed there, he teach them how to do it, you know. So once you teach them already, even one of my students is based in Malaysia, and he was trained by Belgian people to cut Belgian style cutting, okay. So eventually Indian people invite him to Bombay, you know, from Malaysia to go and teach them how to cut diamonds. Really, this is how it is, you know. You need somebody to teach you how to cut nicely cut stones. No.
Okay. Are you not telling the Indonesians to
No, you need to invest, you know. Yeah, you need to put more money in, you know.
Okay. Some of these are just comments, so I won't be asking you some of these questions. Okay. Somebody here was with Iwe Jewelry in the 1980s.
Okay, we are almost finished.
Yeah, we're almost done. Richard wants to know whether your papers are available online to read and whether you can share with us.
Yeah, I can send you my research paper.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, if you are interested, you know. That was published years ago, and the more recent in 2017, I think.
Okay. I think I have no more. I think there's one last question before we close. This is from Faiza Jamal. I think it's got something to do with environmental sustainability.
Oh,
there is more awareness for the diamond industry
things in the air, you know, because
to be environmentally sustainable. Do you think this is possible, especially in Indonesia, Thailand, and Myanmar?
You know, if to be sustainable, you can do. If you involve in environmental consciousness and things, it's good, okay. But you also need to educate the people. You have to educate the local people. Otherwise, forever you will be down there. You see. So you want to improve that. That means you have to pump in a lot of money just to educate. Plus, on top of that, how you go systemize the whole process of mining process, things like that.
Because from your photos and also from my experience going to Chempaka, the mining methods are still quite
primitive.
Primitive,
Primitive.
Right?
Yes. This is how cost effective. Cost effectiveness. You want to invest in new way of mining process, you know, then you have to put in more money. Then who is going to, the cost will go up, then your stone will be up also.
That is true.
So then at the end, the final product will be more up also. Yeah, that's the thing, you see.
So the diamond mining methods are as they are to keep overheads low.
Yeah, the cost is,
and maximize profits.
Yeah. Hopefully it's maximized. Some are not making money because the locality where they are mining, there's not enough diamond to sustain it.
What about issues of safety of the personnel? How many accidents would happen in a year?
I don't know.
Like that,
I don't know.
Because last time I went to Chempaka, somebody mentioned that they had to close a particular, I think it was a whole one, a red mine or
pit mining.
Pit mining, right?
That was dangerous.
Yeah, it collapsed because it was raining.
Collapse. Yeah, it can happen, you know. So
again, it's part of the risk of diamond mining.
Mining is always very risky.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, even properly mining, you know, you can get collapse also. Yeah. In South Africa also, they have collapse. I read some mining story of people, geologists get trapped inside, you know, things like that, you know. You got invest a lot of technology and all that, but the structure of the rock itself is not studied properly, so the whole thing can collapse. Even got reinforcement and things like that, you know. You just collapse. You need to do more research anyway. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it for now. Thank you, Mr. Tay, for sharing all your
You're welcome.
wonderful knowledge with us and also for answering our questions. Thank you all for being here with us on this Saturday afternoon and for those at home. So this talk was brought to you by Malay Heritage Center. It is part of the Orang Banjar Heritage and Culture of the Banjar in Singapore special exhibition. If you've not seen it, please come to the Malay Heritage Center to come and see it. We are open until July. This is also part of the Malay Culture Fest 2020. If you have not checked out our different programs, do check out our microsite at malayheritage.gov.sg/MCF2020. Yeah, so before I go, there's one more QR code. This one is for feedback. So please do share your feedback with us. Your feedback is very important. It lets us know what we're doing well and how we can improve. Excuse me. And also, do follow us on our Facebook and on Instagram and also our website to find out about our latest offerings. We have a performance later tonight in this very auditorium at 8 p.m. It's Panting Banjar, so we'll have musicians from Singapore as well as from Banjarmasin joining us later. So it's actually our first concert since COVID-19. Yeah, so we're quite nervous.
Good to see.
Yeah,
thank you.
this is only our second on-site program since COVID.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So thank you once again. Do check us out and do follow us on our social media and our website. And thank you once again. Enjoy your weekend. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Have a look at the diamonds. We have the rose cut one.
You want to come forward? Come.
Yeah.